My sister told my fiancé I cheated just days before our wedding. She thought she'd won, until she walked into her own engagement party. Just days before I was supposed to walk down the aisle, my sister told my fiancé I'd cheated on him. She cried, said she had to come clean, and made sure everyone believed her. My wedding collapsed overnight. She thought she'd won, until she walked into her own engagement party and found out what really happens when you try to ruin someone else's life. Before we jump into today's video, I need your help. We've noticed the channel is losing some traction, and subscribing is one of the best ways you can support us. It's quick, free, and it helps us keep bringing you awesome content. Your support means the world. Let's keep this channel growing together. Thanks so much. Now let's start the video. 3 days before my wedding, I was glowing. The venue was set, the dress was steamed and ready, and my fiancé, Nathan, was everything I ever hoped for. Calm, thoughtful, loyal to a fault. We had been planning this day for over a year, and somehow we'd made it through without any major meltdowns, until my sister dropped a bomb that blew it all to pieces. Her name's Valerie. She's always been the dramatic one, the one who needed the room to spin around her. Growing up, we were close, but once we hit adulthood, it felt like every good thing that happened to me made her just a little colder. Still, I never imagined she'd stoop this low. The morning it happened, Nathan didn't come home. No texts, no calls. At first I thought maybe he'd gotten caught up in work or some last-minute wedding errand, but something in my gut said otherwise. Then I got the text. "We need to talk, alone." My heart dropped. I met Nathan at the cafe where we had our first date. He looked exhausted, eyes bloodshot, jaw clenched. I sat down and waited. "I can't marry you," he said, voice low. "What?" I laughed nervously, thinking it was a joke. He shook his head. "Valerie told me everything, about you and Dylan, how it went on for months, how you begged her not to tell me. I can't believe you'd do that to me." I felt the air leave my lungs. "Dylan? My coworker Dylan?" I asked, completely stunned. "She showed me texts," Nathan said. "Screenshots. She was crying. She said she didn't want to be the bad guy, but couldn't let me get hurt." I just stared at him, frozen. Because there were no texts, no affair, no begging. None of it was real. Valerie had made the whole thing up. And just like that, my wedding was off, my fiancé was gone, and my sister got exactly what she wanted. Or so she thought. Because while she celebrated the chaos she caused, I was already planning something she never saw coming. Something that would turn her picture-perfect engagement into the mess she deserved. In the days that followed, I didn't cry, I didn't scream, I didn't even text Valerie. I went quiet, which, if you know me, is the most dangerous thing I can do. Because while my sister pranced around town acting like the innocent whistleblower, I was already digging into everything. And by everything I mean the screenshots, the alleged texts between me and Dylan, and the so-called evidence that tore my relationship apart. Turns out, Valerie had been planning this for months. I reached out to Dylan, my actual coworker and friend, who, by the way, was very happily married. When I told him what had happened, he was horrified. "I've barely talked to Valerie outside of family events," he said, "and I sure as hell never sent any messages like that." He showed me his phone. Nothing, and the screenshots Nathan had seen. Total fakes. A mix of doctored messages, some real texts taken completely out of context, and others that never even existed. She used old photos of Dylan and I from a work party to make it all seem real. When I confronted Nathan and showed him everything, he just sat there, silent, ashamed. He admitted it all started to seem weird after the fact, but in the moment, he panicked. "She cried," he said. "She looked so convincing. I thought, why would your own sister lie about something like that?" I didn't say what I wanted to, that he should have trusted me, not the girl who used to accidentally wear white to my birthday parties. But instead, I told him the truth. She did it because she wanted to destroy me, and she's about to find out what it feels like, because Valerie's own engagement party was just around the corner, and I had a plan to make sure she'd never forget it. Valerie's engagement party was the stuff of Pinterest boards. She rented out a rooftop venue downtown, complete with string lights, custom cocktails named after her and her fiancé, and, of course, a photo wall with a neon sign that read, "She said yes." The whole thing made me want to gag, but I showed up, dressed to kill, calm, collected, with a smile so practiced you'd think nothing in my life had burned to the ground just a week earlier. I brought Dylan and his wife with me, not as a petty flex, but as part of the plan. They wanted to help. And when I told them what I was going to do, Dylan just grinned and said, "I've always hated that woman, let's do it." Valerie didn't even flinch when she saw me walk in. She actually smirked, like she was proud of herself. She waved me over like nothing had happened. You made it, she said sweetly. I'm so glad we can put everything behind us. Behind us? Oh, totally, I replied, sipping my drink. In fact, I brought a little something to celebrate. Her eyes lit up. She was expecting a gift. What she got was truth. I walked up to the mic during the toast portion of the evening, right after her fiancé finished rambling about how honesty is the foundation of marriage. Too perfect. I tapped the mic, smiled at the crowd, and said, Hi everyone, I'm your name, Valerie's sister. You may know me from the wedding that didn't happen last weekend. Yeah, that one. People laughed awkwardly. Valerie's face froze. I just wanted to take a moment to raise a glass to Valerie for showing us all just how far someone will go when they can't stand to see another woman happy, to faking screenshots, to lying about affairs, to blowing up a wedding out of pure jealousy. The room went silent. Then I stepped aside, and Dylan walked up with his phone. He mirrored the screen to the big projector behind the bar and scrolled through all the receipts, the real texts, the fake ones Valerie had sent Nathan, and a message she accidentally left in her notes app outlining her plan. Her fiancé turned to her, jaw clenched. Is this real? He asked. Valerie couldn't speak. She just stood there, frozen in her designer dress, while the perfect party crumbled around her. And that was just the beginning. The silence after Dylan's screen went dark was deafening. Valerie's face was pale. Her fiancé, well, ex-fiancé at this point, looked like someone had just sucker-punched him in the ribs. He turned to her again, slower this time. Did you really lie about your own sister cheating, just to ruin her wedding? She opened her mouth, but nothing came out. People were already whispering, phones were coming out. And in the age of social media, let's just say, she said yes. Quickly became, she got exposed. Her ex-fiancé didn't wait for her response. He just shook his head and walked out of the party without saying another word. Several of his friends followed, then mine, then Dylan and his wife, who gave me a subtle thumbs up on their way out. And me? I finished my drink. Valerie finally found her voice as I started heading for the exit. She chased after me, grabbing my arm. You've ruined everything, she hissed, her fake smile long gone. I turned slowly, looked her right in the eye, and said, No, Valerie, you did that. I just made sure everyone saw it. Then I walked out of the party she spent months planning, leaving her with a room full of judgment and the taste of karma in her mouth. By the next morning, the story was everywhere. Well, at least in our social circles. Screenshots were circulating, her ex-fiancé blocked her on everything. Even some of our extended family stopped talking to her. She tried to do damage control, of course, claimed it was a misunderstanding, said she was worried about Nathan, tried to play the victim. But the receipts spoke louder than her crocodile tears ever could. And while she was left cleaning up the pieces of her ruined engagement, something unexpected happened. Nathan called me, and what he said changed everything. I was lying in bed, mentally replaying the engagement party chaos for the 100th time, when my phone lit up. Nathan. I stared at the screen, thumb hovering over the decline button. Part of me wanted to ignore it forever. But curiosity? It's a hell of a thing. I answered. There was a pause, then his voice. Quiet, careful. Hey, I saw everything. I didn't say anything, just waited. I was wrong, he continued. I should have trusted you. I should have known Valerie was lying. God, I messed up so bad. You think? I was humiliated, he said. I let her break us up, and then watching her lie so easily at her own engagement party, I don't even know how to apologize to you. I finally spoke. You don't owe me an apology, Nathan. You owe it to yourself to figure out why you believed her over me. There was another pause. Then he said, You're right. He told me he'd ended all communication with Valerie, that he felt like a fool, that watching me stand up for myself, calm and collected, while Valerie's web unraveled had made him realize just how strong I was, and how badly he'd let that strength slip through his fingers. Then he said something that caught me completely off guard. I still love you. I didn't respond right away, because the truth was, I didn't know how I felt. Part of me still cared about him, deeply, but part of me had changed, stronger, sharper, clearer on what I would and wouldn't tolerate. I appreciate the call, I said softly, but I need time, a lot of it. You believed a lie over your fiancé, and that doesn't disappear with one apology. He understood, and while he said he'd wait, no pressure, no expectations, I knew that whatever came next, I was in control of it now. My sister thought she could break me, but all she did was show me what I'm capable of when I stop being the one who lets things slide. If you thought Valerie had reached rock bottom after the engagement party disaster, think again. Turns out, that was just her first fall. After the party, she tried to rally sympathy from anyone who would listen. She played every card in the deck: mental health struggles, family trauma, even a vague miscommunication excuse where she claimed I had told her that cheating was real and she was just trying to protect Nathan. No one bought it. Her ex-fiance's family publicly cut ties. My parents, who had initially tried to stay neutral, called me after they saw the screenshots and apologized. Genuinely, they said, "We had no idea how far she was willing to go. We're so sorry." I appreciated it, but I also knew it wasn't really about me anymore. Valerie had nuked her own credibility, and now she was scrambling to pick up pieces of a life she had no one left to perform for. Then, she made the ultimate mistake. She posted a Notes app apology. Yep, she really did it. To everyone I've hurt, especially my sister. I never meant for things to go this far. I was in a dark place, and I thought I was helping. I realize now how wrong I was, and I'm working on myself. Please give me space and grace as I heal. Space? Sure. Grace? She was gonna need a whole lot more than that. The comments? Brutal. Nobody was feeling generous after seeing her try to destroy my relationship and smile through her own celebration like nothing had happened. And trust me, screenshots have a long shelf life. Friends unfollowed, extended family blocked her. One of her bridesmaids even posted a TikTok telling the full story from her perspective, and it went viral. Meanwhile, I was healing. Nathan and I were talking again, slowly, carefully, no big declarations, no sweeping gestures, just honesty, space, and time, the things we should have had from the start. And Valerie, she stayed quiet after that post. Probably the smartest thing she's ever done. But even in silence, I knew her story wasn't over. Because sometimes the people who cause the most damage don't learn until they lose everything. And she wasn't done losing. For a while, it seemed like Valerie had finally gone radio silent. No more attention-grabbing posts, no cryptic quotes, no fake tears, just digital dust. But then, I got a call from a mutual friend, one of Valerie's old college buddies who now worked in HR at a mid-sized marketing firm. "Guess who applied for a job here?" she said. My stomach dropped. "You're kidding." "Nope, and someone here already recognized her from TikTok." That's right, Valerie's drama had become the kind of cautionary tale people recognized. Her old bridesmaid's viral post. It had racked up hundreds of thousands of views, shares, and stitches. People were using her name like a verb. "Don't go full Valerie," someone commented on another video. I laughed when I saw it. Apparently, the HR team Googled her during the hiring process, as they do, and the second page of results was full of people dragging her for her sister sabotage stunt. And let's just say, companies don't like hiring people known for public scandals and manipulating family. She didn't get the job. Later that week, she tried launching a rebrand on Instagram. A new handle, a soft pastel aesthetic, yoga quotes, and captions about growth and second chances. But the internet never forgets. People started tagging the old posts, the screenshots, the video clips. One comment stood out to me. "You don't get to cry growth when you haven't even owned what you did." And just like that, poof, the account went private. Again. But me, I kept moving. I was back to work, back to myself. Nathan and I were rebuilding something slower, more intentional. My friends rallied around me more than ever. Even my relationship with my parents, shaky as it had been, felt more honest now. Real. And the best part, I didn't even have to keep fighting anymore. The truth had momentum. And Valerie, she couldn't outrun it. But there was one last thing I had to do. Something that would let me truly close the door on all of it. A few months after Valerie's world unraveled, I did something I'd been putting off. I wrote her a letter. Not for closure, not for reconciliation, just to say the things I needed to say, without interruption, without fake tears, and without an audience. I kept it short. Director. You didn't just try to ruin my relationship, you tried to rewrite who I am. You weaponized my trust, my kindness, and my silence. But what you didn't realize is that I don't break, I rebuild, stronger, smarter, and with a hell of a lot more clarity. I'm not writing to forgive you, I'm writing to release you, from my mind, from my life, from the idea that you ever had power over me. You wanted to destroy me, but all you did was push me into becoming someone who refuses to shrink for anyone else's comfort ever again. I never sent it. I didn't need to. Because the truth is, Valerie already got her consequence. And I got my peace. Nathan and I, we're still figuring things out. slowly. We go on long walks and have real conversations. We're learning how to see each other again, without the noise. Whether we find our way back fully or not, it's on my terms now. And my sister? She's a reminder. A reminder that not everyone who claims to love you wants the best for you. A reminder that jealousy wears familiar faces. A reminder that speaking up, loudly, boldly, and without shame, isn't petty. It's powerful. Because when someone tries to write your story for you, pick up the pen and write the ending they never saw coming. Betrayal doesn't always come from strangers. Sometimes it comes from the people you grew up with, the ones who know your secrets, who smile in your face and sharpen the knife behind your back. But here's what this story taught me. You don't have to stay quiet just to keep the peace. Peace built on silence and guilt isn't peace, it's control. Standing up for yourself, even when it makes people uncomfortable, even when it costs you relationships, is not cruelty. It's clarity. If someone in your life has tried to sabotage you, gaslight you, or twist your truth into something that benefits them, you're not alone. And you are not wrong for defending yourself. Have you ever had someone close to you betray your trust in a way that changed everything? Drop your story in the comments. I want to hear how you reclaimed your power. And if this story hit home, please like, subscribe, and share it. Your support helps us bring you more real stories about strength, healing, and taking your life back on your own terms. Thanks for watching, and remember, just because they share your blood doesn't mean they deserve your loyalty. Choose truth. Choose you. See you in the next one.